Okay, today's solar cooking project is pork loin, pork sirloin, boneless. Um, it was started from a frozen state and looks like outside temperatures, I don't know, 120, 12, 14, thereabouts. Earlier it had gotten to 130 some. And 125 and that ballpark. Now I'm going to set this thing aside a minute and get that out, and I'll bring it over and cut it. Okay, and cut on the truck. Let's see. One can having a hard time framing this thing with the sun off the tablet face here. Okay, flies are liking the smell of it. 140, 147. The meat in the inside. It is not pink, it's completely, looks completely cooked. So we're calling it good. And I'm putting the lid back on to keep the flies out of it. And that's about it for this report. A lot of juggling. Okay, today, let's see, this is leftovers from assembling the 3 kits. Don't need everything all the time, depending on how you configure it. Let's see. This one has metal pie pans in a 2 Pyrex bowls, and the fiberglass support thing is going crosswise rather than along the length. One eliminates the clips and one rod that way, and it seems to work fine. We'll see. And this one is essentially 2 metal loaf pans in 2 Pyrex bowls. That's why there's 2 grills on the hood of the old truck, is they kind of go with this set. Same with the pole on this one. And the old wheelbarrow one. And there we put the grill in. And in it, we found that the silicone bases on the Anchor hocking bowls peel off fairly easily. They don't seem to be put on with adhesive, and could potentially be put back on if I wanted them on. They provide good grip on the grill, but the one on the top would have been obstructing the access of the sun. In this one, we have a Greek olive jar with the lid very loose on it, feelably loose, so that if any air pressure builds up inside, it can lift the lid a little bit, but not necessarily blow it off. All three contain pork boneless country style ribs. I got at Hagen last night for $1.77 a pound in the family pack. Most of the family pack got wrapped in baggies and thrown in the freezer for future experiments, kind of thing. But I figured I would cook 3 of them this time in 3 different containers and see how they go. I also have one on low in a very small frying pan, also a new toy, in the house, and that'll probably get done first, but it'll give me an indication that, well, see how long it takes on low, and compare the results to these 3 cookers. And that's about it for now. Shut off, damn it. There we go. Well, I decided to show the one cooking in the house on the little frying pan. I happen to have a lid that fit the frying pan. There's the country style boneless pork ribs covered in lemon pepper, just like the rest of them. Nifty new pan, and I figured I'd give it a shot. Had an old Proline lid that happened to fit, so I will be simmering it on low and see how it goes. Well, it's about 3 o'clock, and something going on this one that when I come out and adjusted the sun is, I don't know if you can see it or not, but inside the olive jar, it looks like there's a rolling boil going on. So I'd say that's 212 at least. So I'm going to call it on the rest of these also, and check and see how they are doing. Go through and show off some temperatures here. 163, 170. Let's see. $79. That's the glass. And this one, 59, 57, 64, 162, 164, 165, 172. Pretty decent. And this one, Says 172, 74, 75, so the outside glass temperatures are about the same. So I'm going to put this thing down and handle them with bottles. Okay, we got it up here on the hood of the old truck, and as you can see now, there's a boil going on in there. Starting to taper down a little bit right now, but I'd say we got boiled meat in there anyway. It's probably done all the way through. Now, do another sit down. Lid off. $180, $200. Smells pretty good. The boil is stopped, so the temperature's gotten down to a little bit below the boiling point, but it's probably as high as the temperature got. And that's in the meat. That one, I'm going to put the lid back on it for a bit while I check the others. And a quick, it says about 231 at one point there. So I would say that's about the highest temperature we'd gotten, was the 231. It's cooling off now with the lid open on it. Yeah, bit of a dance here. Yeah, same ballpark, 227, 226, 223, thereabouts. So I'm guessing these are all done. Ooh, ding dang. That's a hottie. Okay, in the loaf pan. In the loaf pan, the meat itself, open a bit, 173.47 on the outside. Yeah, we got 150 something, maybe got 160. That's going to take a little slice business to, oh, there it's creeping up to 160. We're going to do a slice and see if it's white or if it's bloody. And there's sliced through, and it looks done to me. That's white, white, white. But it looks moist, which I'll put it back in the pan. Well, I check the other. Damn, it feels tender. Put the lid on it, keep the bugs out of it. Pin to the lid anyway. Put the other loaf pan on it. And there's bugs showing up already. Somebody else is smelling good food. Okay, this one's probably cooling off a little bit. Ah. Oh, wow. Little bit of an issue the way this particular metal pan fits that one. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut this one. Can't fight with the camera stuff a whole lot. And that one appears to be also very nicely juicy done. So I'm going to put it back in the pan, and I will shortly shut off the video. And handy dandy thing about clips is they turn the double pans into lids, and the clips help the thing stay on. Oops. And I already know the one in the house, it looks like it might be kind of done. I think these out here actually cooked faster than the one in the house. That was done way down on low, so I'm guessing cooking in the funnel cookers is a bit like cooking on low when it's real sunny out. And now I get to pick up all the parts and put them away, and I got a whole lot of pork loin to chow on. Okay, setup. The setup on today's cooking, it's August the 14th, and it's about 2:12 according to the clock on the camera. I'm doing a stew this time, and I changed the configuration a little bit. It is a black pot that I've used before, I think. It's got some, I guess you'd call it recycled deli chicken, or the scraps cut off the drumsticks from some deli chicken, mixed with a bunch of minced onions, a minced onion, some minced celery. They essentially had flavoring on the chicken. It was oven baked kind rather than the fried one. And let's see. Oh, I put some oats in there. Irish oatmeal type steel cut oats, which is kind of a chunky sort of an oatmeal. And don't know if you can see it very well, but the oats are swelling nicely. The thing was put in at about 12, and it's looks like it's got a boil going. Yes, it does. It has a boil going inside that thing. So we'll probably let the thing go for as long as the sun will mess with it. Onions were raw, and so was the celery, and I don't think going to have any overcooking issues with soup. So we got a couple more hours to go on that. And configuration changes on the cooker here. I undid a couple of the wing nuts and bolts that it's constructed with. I don't know if you can see under there or not, but undid them and redid them so that they aren't connecting in 2 of the 3 spots. That has to do with using the Pyrex bowl to fit the funnel to the bucket, and still use the grill to hold the double Pyrex bowls up out of the other Pyrex bowl. Kind of gets it more in the focus, I think. But with those 2 fasteners tightened, it was pointed more up rather than out, and the grill was arguing with the panel material and so on. And I figured, I want a little lower sun angle. It's getting a little later in the day that one kind of starts cooking around here, I guess. But it does do it. Opening those two did kind of lower that side a little bit and allows the sun to come in. Right now I'm seeing a lot of flies buzzing around here. But while I was messing with that, a concept occurred to me. And that concept is, get back so I can see the whole thing here. The side of the old truck, I've got crossbars, and I have some silver tarp that I had gotten from Harbor Freight, and a tripod from Cabela's, a Lodge tripod, and the tea kettle I'd painted black, a little bit of cord from Harbor Freight, and the hook and lock setups are some goodies I'd gotten from Fred Meyer's. It seems to put a little bit of shape to the tarp, and I'm kind of wondering just about how warm I can get that tea kettle. I got it low enough to where it let's see, there's probably 1.5 quarts in a 2-quart kettle, or 2 quarts in a 2.5 quart kettle, whatever. It's about 2/3 to 4/5 full, and I did about, average tap water temperature, not hot, not cold, and I'm curious if I can get a little heat out of it by even that sort of a makeshift large variation on a parabola type cooker, only done with just a couple of silver tarps. Tarps weren't real expensive. They're the 5x7s from Harbor Freight. So see what happens with it. And the other cooker, let that go about another 2 hours. So check back a little bit later then. Okay, I'm inserting an oopsie report. If you look closely, you can see where I looped the cord around one of the legs of the tripod. Apparently the wind came up a little bit and pulled the tripod down. And I caught the kettle before it drained completely. But it's, what? Let's see how full it is now. Well, it's 2/3 full. Not bad on the spill, but do not loop the cord around the leg of the tripod, I guess. I don't know if what it'll do if I just if I have some other way to anchor it. Have to think on that. That's what the experiment's for, is figuring out what's going on with it. I have to set it up and see what we. Well, pause for now and work on it. Okay. I put the pause in that and lost the post-pause commentary, so I got to redo that again. I have the I opened up the connections on the tarp a little bit because the sun had changed position. I was getting shading from the tarp itself, which wasn't gaining me anything. It's the idea is to shepherd the sun to the kettle. The current setup, you can see, wind comes up and blows it and pulls on the rope. It would tend to slide up the leg and not pull the leg out. I hope. We'll see. I kind of think the legs are too fat to fit through tarp holes. Otherwise, I'd be tempted to put anchor the legs firmly into the ground and all sorts of ideas are occurring, but I'm kind of wondering if the silver tarp will reflect enough to make it worth the bother, or whether I'd need to be 3-4 tarps and some kind of a major framework to get it to heat a tea kettle. Whatever. Somebody's got to be able to do a cooker out of silver tarps. It's just too tempting. Well, looks like I'm gonna call it into the cooking day here. Get a closer look at this, which, look down in there and you can see the oats have all swelled up, and yeah, we know it had gotten to a boil and stayed there for a long time. It may have gotten a little potential for overcooking, because there for a while this thing was putting out one heck of a lot of aroma, and it's backed off of that, so it may have cooked out a lot of the aroma stuff in it. So, calling it well, good, and done. I'm not going to try to wrestle it around this time. Whatever. The other project, or experiment, says 163, 171 on the outside the kettle, and inside, I can't even see if I can see that. Ugh. Glare on the when I would be seeing it. Says it's only about 120 or so, that thing, but I'm not sure if I'm actually touching the water. Shoot down that, it says 133, 32. So the inside's about 133, 134 degrees. Not sure if that was even visible in the in the thing. But I believe we've probably gotten 50 degrees heating on that anyway. Because when it's put in there, it was, lukewarm. The most 60 or 70 degrees maybe. Kind of ambient house temperature, whatever. And 50-degree rise is not bad. It's worth seeing if we can focus a little better, because the way that thing's set up, it's a little bit hit and miss on where the reflected light's actually hitting. But I have some things I gathered up over here. Let's see. There are a bunch of electric fiberglass, electric fence fiberglass rods that I think I can drill holes in the black pipe, which is, let's see, it's a polyethylene pipe of some kind. It's a waste product from lumber mill. The wrapping they put around the lumber comes on a big roll that has a core in the middle. And the core looks like recycled high density polyethylene or low density polyethylene or a mix of the two. It's not usable for pipe. It might be recyclable at some point, but it was dumpster treasure. And every now and then I find a use for it. It's I'm not sure what on the open market would replace it, whether it would be like a sewer pipe is thinner and brittler. There may be like an ASB pipe or something like that that might substitute for the use I have figured for it. And those two large white rods are from a previous project. They're fiberglass cord rods that I think they were used for like some kind of a fence posting or something. I'd gotten them at the co-op years ago and used them as part of a framework for channeling tomato plants, I think. But time to find a reuse for them. And what happened to them before was drilled holes in the polyethylene and put those through it, and they make a nice little structural platform business. And that would be the basis of a platform for a tarp with holes drilled for the electric fence posts to stick out and provide the taper potentially. It's going to take a lot of figuring to figure out how many holes I got to drill in that pipe to get some kind of a cross between a panel and parabolic cookers that uses silver tarps. It's an interesting puzzle, and that's what I'm kind of oriented toward puzzling out with this solar cooking stuff, is some of the interesting puzzles. There's going to be a cutting edge cooker coming out this fall. It's like, dang, I want to get one of those, but $600? Yeehaw. But it is so cool. Well, anyway, I guess I'm got to put stuff away because I want to do some shuffling around to these tarps and these other pieces to get some ideas on how I want to assemble a freestanding structure that doesn't require me to tie everything to the truck. Okay, I guess that's it for this one. Okay, back to show the results of the soup cooking. Looks like all the veggies are nice and cooked. Ouch, ouch, ouch. That's hot. Damn it. That's still close to the boiling temperature. A little hard to see if you can see all the way in. There's a edge. That's still hot. Heavy taste of onions and celery and chicken, which is what is in it. I could have put a little more seasoning in it, but the onions and celery do a lot of seasoning on their own. So, well, I'm going to finish a din-din, I guess it'd be called. Let's see. Time on this thing is about 4:52. My lunch is done and hot and done, whatever. That's it for this report. Okay, we're doing another stew. I purposely set up the configuration of the fasteners the same as before. It spread a little more because I didn't have them hooked and then unhook them in place, so it's spread a bit more. But I took some pork sirloin from previous tests, some of the meat, added some raw carrots and potatoes and water, and making a stew out of it. Celery and some seasoning. And since the shadow is getting to the point of cutting this thing off without moving it, whether it's done or not, I'm going to have to pick it up out of there and move it and so on. I'll check it, but I'm going to do the checking up on the hood of the truck. So, I'll set it down, this down. Okay. And open it up, poke a potato with a fork, and potatoes are definitely done. Try a bit of carrot. They're usually the hardest. Oh yeah, carrot's very, very done. I started it a little late, about 1:30. And the time now is about 4:57, whatever, call it 5 o'clock. So it had been sitting there for about 2.5, 3 hours, and just I'm calling it done and edible. I'm gonna put the other half of the bowl on top and clip it down on top of the truck for a bit, just to maintain the heat. The clips do pretty good at holding the lid on the bowl there. Something I'm thinking about doing, from placement of the sun, placement of the bowl, and sometime I may set a cooker on the hood of the truck, and maybe on a little turntable or something, so I can rotate it without scooting the wing nuts across the hood of the truck. Don't want to scratch that finish any more than necessary. But it's got a pretty good position right now. The rest of the cooker setup there, see, it's same as before. Pyrex bowl under the grate that holds the funnel cooker in place, and this time the crossbar, I actually put the little sliding things in there to keep the wind was pushing it sideways there a little bit, and so actually having the little push things on there helps counterbalance the not having the other two fasteners hooked. Otherwise they'll flop around a little bit in the breeze. So there's a trade-off. Good to know. And that's pretty much the report for today. Okay, we're getting to the end of today's cooking cycle. Thing's been going since about noonish. It's about 4:25 now. What it is a frozen lasagna. It's looking browned around the edges and so on. And I'm gonna open it up and see what the temperature's like on the inside. See if I can pause. Okay, looks like we're unpaused. Getting better at this. And stuck a thermometer into the center of it, and I'm seeing up over 180. See if I can quit jiggling stuff around a little bit. Yeah, it looks like it's gotten over 180, so that's well beyond the 160 required for food safety. But let me go ahead and open it up. Okay, unpaused again. And it looks very, very done, and maybe a little over browned. Taste done. So 4 hours is a little long to go on the lasagna, but looks like it's plenty good. variations on the setup. Just about same as the last one. Pyrex bowl in the bottom, great. And the fasteners undone two of them undone. So we're calling it good. Having lasagna on the old truck. Bump. Well, it's time for chow. Okay, this is an introduction to the August 20th cooking. Making stew in the little black 2-quart pot. It has a big old onion in it, about an onion's worth of celery, a couple potatoes, some meat. There was some leftover meat, pork loin, or pork rib, I guess, and all chopped up and put in there with some rosemary, basil, and soy sauce and salt and so on. And the jar on top, that I didn't have room for carrots, but I wanted to cook some carrots anyway. So, little olive jar with sliced carrots in water with a little pepper in them. The lid of that jar's on there loosely, and hopefully nothing will shake the thing and knock that off the top and have a catastrophe. I could set up a separate cooker for it, but I figured, let's try it out on top. See if we can get that top to a boil. The bottom will probably come to a boil okay. It's about 12:16. The tree shadows have just cleared, and I've got the cooker set so that catch the sun. Two of the fasteners are not done up. I had two done up for setting it down and then undid one so I'd get just the right amount of spread on it. And the rod helps keep everything from moving around in what draft there is. And that's going to be it until I do a further report. Okay, little update. Get a close-ups. I'm smelling it a wee bit. The little bit of bubble on top of the carrots there, but I'm not sure if it's would be considered a boil yet. And the meat that was added to the stew pot in the bottom is that's above water is actually browning a little more, I think. Should add some interesting flavor to that stew. You can see I need to rotate it a little more. And that's it for this one. Okay, I took the stuff out of the cooker, as if you can see the shadows. The tree up there, I don't know, kind of blinding there probably. Anyway, sun will be moving between two trees, so they'll get sun back there again. And I thought it would be a good time to test this stuff. Which, carrots, 176 on the exterior of the jar, and the glass on the outside of the thing there is about 140 something. Set this. No, didn't pause yet. Okay, we're running again. And the carrots themselves, 140 so, 150, and getting on almost 160. Not sure what there we go. Not sure what I'm seeing in this thing. Take that out for the moment. And I'm gonna stab carrot. They've still got a little bit of crunch to them. Starting to taste the pepper in them though. I could do with a little more time, or cooking it the other way in its own little cooker rather than on top of. Come on, pause. Okay, back off pause. Got the lid open. And let's see how to do this. Lift that off because we know it's going to be hot. There's a little steam rising from it. That down. Uh, 203, 201, and the 190s in that one. And the internal temperature's approaching 200. It's 190 something. Oh, there you can see it. Thereabouts. I need a hooded display so I can see what I'm doing. There, it's reached about 200. So the stew is actually about done. I would suspect. Potatoes jab into nicely. Oh, I can smell it too. What I'm going to do is put the lid back on this, and then I'm going to dish some up and chow down on it. Carrots I may cook a little more. Take the pot out and put the carrots in and catch a little last sun maybe. Okay, pause this again. Okay, I put the carrots in, see if I can get a little more heat out of them the rest of the cooking day to finish them off a little more. I would not recommend putting them in the jar and putting them on top. reduces the ability to cook, unlike the pot and the double Pyrex things. The rest of the stew is now in the food thermos storage things, because I'm not going to pig down on that much stew all at once, and I like it warm. So while I'm chowing on what I got here, that can wait for later in the day. And that should be about it for this one. Okay, I can't really see what I'm filming, but what I want to get is see if I can see any of the bubbles I saw rising off the eggs. And I think I can see them. Which means those eggs been probably boiling for a long time. So I'm going to open them up. And next shot will probably be of cross section of egg. Okay, instead of cross section of egg, I'm gonna do a close-up of boiling egg, or boiling in the jar. Next to its corn dog is done, but okay. And here is the egg that was cooked. Didn't turn as green as I thought it would in the inside. It looks like it's just properly cooked. A little grayish on the interface between the white and the yolk, but yolk itself, not too bad. And the corn dog I was hungry for. But anyway, so one can cook eggs in an olive jar inside the Pyrex bowls. Those eggs have stopped boiling now. We'll let them cool down some to get them peeled and have lunch. Okay, the last thing I put in here, I started at 10 and took it out at 2:30, and it's now 3 o'clock when I started another item, the corn dogs. And they are split open already. And so half hour, 40 minutes, and corn dogs were done. So it's cooking right along there. Yep, good enough. I was hungry from wanting more than one corn dog, so it was nice it was speedy going. Okay, today, let's see, August 24th, the time is about 3 o'clock. This is a 11-ounce lasagna. I believe there is the package hung off of the cooker, and The lasagna was looking like it was getting real close to being done. Let's see, 180 something, 187 through the glass. And I thought I'd do is stick a stick it in the meat type thermometer into it and see what that registers. Let's see, pause. Okay, and again we decided to have lasagna, and the reading through the glass, 199, so on. Corn dogs are a little lower, which I think that probably gives a pretty good reading of what it is inside too. It's been about 3 hours like it was yesterday. So I'll call it good. Let's see. Opening it up. Oh, that's a hot plate. And another reading. 200. It hit. 208. Yeah, that's cooked. So 3 hours. Same kind of setup as before, with pie plate and the platter on top of it, which seems to do a whole lot less airspace to heat up inside the thing. Okay. Pull back to show the whole setup. And good enough.